I'm just going to say happy Veterans Day to everybody who served, and I'm just going to be styling my hair. And yeah, I haven't wanted to do live streams for a while just because I don't know, I've been busy. But also too, man, I'm not even going to go into why. I did a video on my other channel about some thoughts on current events. And I have to really be honest, I'm over it because we live in an age where I feel like there's nothing wrong with sharing, but I can't help but think this is another thing too. I know a lot of people are very certain. They love to share their opinions, especially, I don't know, about election and who won. Well, check back in 6 months, or even if somebody's like super happy about the result, are they gonna feel the same way? Are they gonna care about it that much? I don't know. I just feel like a lot of it is too on social media, just people wanting to cash in on whatever's trending. And honestly, I'm over like political, like politics being one's whole purpose or whole discussion point. And you can actually, I mean, I still believe in the democratic system of a strong republic in the United States. I just think you should vote. Maybe keep more of it to yourself. I have really come to that conclusion that keeping more of your opinions on how you vote and what you vote for to yourself. I don't think the whole general population needs to talk about it unless that's your platform. So that's just my take on that. And after that, I don't know. I'm just wanting to focus on living a healthy, stress-free life. Because I know people are like, but stress is part of modern life. But I can't help but think stress could be like, yeah, there are certain situations that are stressful, but outside of like certain responsibilities you have in daily life, if you're choosing to like engage with content that's just, I feel, combative, that might be stressful, I think. That's sort of my take. And I'm not into that whole stress thing. I don't like it. I don't vibe it. I don't need it in my life. And honestly, like, if that makes me on the side of things that are never like trending, that's okay. Because I think you have to be your own trend. I mean, people do change. This is true. Like, throughout the course of your life, people change. But I feel like there's certain continuity within yourself. Like, if you know certain things about yourself, like when I was 4 years old, okay, I know a lot of people said their experience when they were a little kid, like in the 80s, was, oh, they had to wear dresses to school. I wanted to wear dresses to school. I remember, maybe because this is California and I grew up in the mountains and things were more casual, like even my own mom, like she was very bewildered by my choice to want to wear dresses all the time. And people all of my life have assigned like a certain identity to me because I like to wear dresses. They tell me I'm super religious. They tell me that I must be super conservative. And that a man must have told me to dress this way when actually there were some men that didn't like women wearing dresses. Like, I got a lot of weird comments from guys. People that think, especially in California, I feel like being an adult is better now because, like, you can dress how you want. But I just like dresses. It doesn't, and yes, I like being feminine. And I have nothing against men, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of men when I was growing up in 80s, 90s, early 2000s, that they don't really like it if a woman wears a dress all the time. Like, that kind of bothered them. And even recently, there was a guy that complimented me on wearing a dress, but then he told me, like, he wished I was wearing jeans so he could see more of my body shape, which to me, I'm not a piece of merchandise. I'm not dressing for women. I'm not dressing for men. I'm dressing for myself. If people like it, if people are into the way I dress, that's cool. But I don't set out to make my whole life about, oh, I'm dressing for this person or that person. But I've noticed in our culture, there's a lot of people that they think it's okay to comment on how people look, but it's never been okay. And I feel like, this is just my thought about this, the moment when people start saying, like, and not in a positive light either, they start having a lot of commentary about the way somebody else looks, I feel like there's something within them that's insecure. It really is. Like, the minute that you tell somebody something negative, there is an insecurity within you. Like, because if you were good within yourself, you wouldn't be doing that. So I don't really get into all that, and I know that there's a lot of that out there. And then the enablers of that kind of behavior, they get mad like when you push back on it. Like, they get visibly upset. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, like, how dare you speak out against the bullies? Like, because they're scared of the bullies, or they like the bullies, or they love bully culture, or they like toxic culture for some reason. And I think that's kind of what's been going on in the YouTube chat for a bit. I'm seeing it more and more lately. I guess it goes on TikTok too, but there's this whole rage bait culture, and I think people love to feed into it, and it's happened in society, believe me, I know. But I think the difference is when somebody's online, like, they kind of like to feed into that, and I'm not game for it because I feel like it takes away from the experience of people that just want a soothing environment. Like, online spaces are for everybody. Like, there are people of all ages online. There are people of all, like, backgrounds online. And if you don't like something that you see online, or you don't like someone that you see online, you have the ability to, like, watch something else. Like, I've just never understood that, because there are certain things that I'm not a fan of. Like, I don't have any interest in football or soccer, although soccer guys are cuter than football players. They just are. The only thing I'll say is they're cute, but I don't want to sit there and watch a soccer game or get invested in soccer games, and I could care less about who won what, or baseball, or whatever sport it is. I do like to watch some ice skating, and that's about it. Like, I love Winter Olympics ice skating. Like, that, like, the artistry. I used to love gymnastics when it was a little bit more balletic, but I feel like now it's just more power moves. Not that that's not fun to watch, but the only sport I really actually enjoy, I would say, would be ice skating. I love to watch ice skating. It's just very beautiful. And I don't really understand people who, like, they go to a certain thing and they are getting invested. But also too, like, I know some people get mad if you're like, hey, this is not okay. But you have every right, if you're on social media, to say this is not okay. Because just because somebody's online doesn't mean that that's an invitation for you to make comments about them if you don't like something about them. Because I personally can say there's certain, like, I just don't like sports. But wouldn't that be weird if I went to, like, a football player's live stream and I started, like, bagging on him about it? I mean, that would look really weird. It would just seem very strange. So either it's a maturity thing, like, to me, when people go online and they don't like something, it's very much a maturity thing. If you don't like something that you see, then you shouldn't be watching it. You shouldn't be engaging with it. And I know there's some creators on here, they kind of lean into that. It started long ago, like, with certain YouTubers, I think, that like, their whole platform, that's kind of their brand, okay? But I don't really like that, and I don't get it. So, and I know there's plenty of people that grow and they don't lean into that, and they don't lean into controversy. So I guess I've become full circle. It's funny because when my mom was younger, I mean, she has opinions. She's actually very much a Democrat, more than I am. And I'm not into political stuff anymore, really. I feel more into, I'm kind of over the political stuff. But she was always of the mind that you really shouldn't discuss, like, religion and politics in a social setting. And I feel like that's something that people have forgotten, especially in 2024. And I'm thinking right now, with all the friction in the air and just, like, strong feelings in the air, I feel like it's healthier when people just kind of don't discuss that stuff as much, in my opinion, unless, like, your brand is all about politics or something. But if you're just doing something else, yeah, I like to talk about hair care. I love to talk about long hair. So that's not what my brand's about. Like, I feel like we just live in an age where there's a lot of different things going on. But it's okay to say, I question that. I question the healthiness of that, the legitimacy of always having to be in an argument with someone, always having to clout chase, always having to rage bait. Because I don't really like the rage, and I don't get the bait. And I don't understand the appeal and the allure of rage following. Not only is there rage baiting, but I guess on TikTok, people were talking about it, and probably on YouTube too, but I haven't been following this stuff as much lately. There's rage follows, like people that actually literally hate someone. So they're following that person. And I think the difference is, okay, so like 20 years ago or so, you had that show American Idol. It started in Britain as British Idol, but there would be contestants, and I didn't even really watch the show, but my little sister used to watch it. And I remember, like, I guess people were kind of invested because you could vote on certain contestants, and then there were certain ones that people didn't like because they thought, oh, they might have good hair, but they didn't really sing well. And people like love to hate like a certain contestant, and then because they love to hate them, supposedly, allegedly, I don't know how these things work, this person got more votes so they'd stay on the show. And I never really followed all that, but I would say like that was the early iteration of, and I'm sure it's existed on forums and stuff, which I don't really like forums. I'm not a fan of Reddit either. Like, even when you post on Reddit or the Facebook groups, I just don't really like that. Or even like long hair community. Like when I started my channel, a lot of people said you should post on the long hair community and do. But I just find it's just too social in a way. Like, I like to be on social media, but this is more about my hair journey and sharing my thoughts on hair care, not like getting into discussions with other people about what they think is better. Because the way I do hair care deviates a lot from like whatever. Like when I first came on, I don't know, with the long hair channel, this is an example, it seemed like there was a lot of like emphasis on having to use a wide tooth comb, and this is the only tool you could use to detangle your hair. And there's still some people who say that, and then some people are like, oh, and a boar bristle brush. But honestly, I had one of those as a kid, and I don't find them to be super gentle. And even some people that are really, really into boar bristle brushes recently have started doing videos talking about how they're using wide tooth combs to detangle more. And I don't even want to buy a boar bristle brush just because, first off, I don't like pig hair, and a lot of people like of certain fades like wouldn't want pig hair in a brush. I personally think it's kind of gross. Like I don't want to brush with boar bristles. Like, no. Plus, no, I just don't. Personally, that's not something I want. I don't want to use something like that, and I've never used one. But that was a big thing, and it's still kind of a big thing. Like, a lot of people are like, you have to have this brush, this magical brush. But you know what I had? Like, when I first started the channel, I was just using a Conair hairbrush, which I've since thrown away because I really get kind of picky about my hairbrushes. Don't hold on to my hairbrush for 15 years if it's looking nasty. You could even now go to the Dollar Tree, and I even did videos like 7 years ago. There are Dollar Tree dupes for like this unbrush, which I think this brush, it's a good brush, but it's a little overpriced, you know. This is a good brush, but if you don't want to spend like $18 on a brush, you can go to like Ross or even Walmart. It's a little bit more pricey at Walmart. The reason I say like Ross and TJ Maxx, because these are like $4.95. I think they're going up a little bit more to like $5.95, but the wet brush is pretty cool too. I feel like this one is good for fluffing, and this one's kind of good for like if you still have some tanglies and you want to fluff. But the longer my hair gets, I know I'm kind of drawing this out and talking a lot. Thank you. I appreciate you, homesteader. Okay, the longer my hair gets, I am getting back into wide tooth comb vibe. And this wasn't like a pricey or expensive wide tooth comb. It came in a set of combs I got at Burlington. It's an off-brand. A set of combs for like $5. But I'm just really loving this comb. I have other wide tooth combs I could pull out, but for some reason, this has just been my favorite one. And I'm kind of getting into the hair clips, but yesterday I didn't comb out my hair the way I wanted because I just had a busy day, and I realized, I know that's another thing too, people talk about certain kinds of buns and messy buns, and why do I not love them? Because every time after I do not comb out my hair, and if I leave it in braids, like just a braid down, it's not as bad. But I noticed if I start putting my hair up, like with claw clippers, it works for one day, but the next day I definitely need to comb my hair out because it starts wanting to like tangle into each other. And that's the thing about wavy hair, it loves to tangle. And that's another thing about long hair community. Like you have, it might be more diverse now, but when I first started going on there, you had a lot of people with straight hair types just talking about what they did for their hair and talking about how certain products weigh down their hair when those are products that I love. And then you go through certain cycles of the vilification of oils. Like, I think coconut oil is great, but now there's some people that are on here that like coconut oil is bad. You can't use coconut oil in your hair ever. I've been using it since I was 13 years old. And I attribute a lot of this to my good hair health, I think. Like, I've been using iterations of the Noi oil, and I've used straight coconut oil, and I've used olive oil. And now, more recently, I've been just playing around with this spray oil, which is marketed as a moisturizing dry oil for skin, but I think you can use it for hair because the ingredients are oils, and it has some fragrance in it. No, actually, does this one have fragrance? Yeah, it does have perfume, fragrance in French. Chocolate ferals. I don't know. This one I've been using for hair sometimes. And I also, when I comb out my hair, like after I wash my hair, my favorite, and I need to buy this for my little sister again. She doesn't live with me anymore, but she was saying it was so hard to comb her hair out now because she didn't have the serum. And I said, what serum is that? It's this one, this thing. I'm almost out, but this thing, I was really into the Aussie sprays for a while, but not only do I put a boatload of conditioner on my hair, this thing, along with oils, just helps me detangle my hair. Like, this thing prevents breakage, reduces split ends. It's also considered a heat protectant, but when I did that one video with the flat iron, I don't know. I'm not into heat tools, honestly. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a heat protectant, but maybe it is. I mean, it says that it is on the bottle. I'm sure some people use it as that. But if you do heat styling, you might want to talk to people about what a good heat protectant is, because that's just not really my grape jelly jam. It detangles, which I agree with. Nourishes, controls frizz. This stuff is just great. And it's Garnier Fructis 10-in-1 Grow Strong. And this one is for, I mean, I just happen to like this one. I don't feel like my hair is weak or fragile, but I like products like that because I tend to feel like they have more emollients. They have more oils. Like this one does have oils in it. It has dimethicone or ammo dimethicone. I like cones, okay? I know a lot of people don't like cones, which are silicones. A lot of people don't like cones, but personally, I don't have a problem with dimethicone. Like, I find my hair type does like some dimethicone, like, or dimethicone. I don't think it's scary. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh no, you can't have any cones, no sulfates. But I don't know, my hair seems to be okay with cones and sulfates. I have no problems with it. And it doesn't mean that the oil can't penetrate your hair, by the way. I've looked some of this up. Like, a lot of that stuff, like all the fear mongering about dimethicones and sulfates, it's not exactly accurate. What it says is if you don't clarify your hair, which I do, by the way, I clarify my hair every time I wash it because I use a clarifying shampoo that has sulfates and salicylic acid in it. I've been using the Garnier one more now than I could get it out, but I've shown it before. Should I get it out? Yes. Okay. I used to like this one, and I think this one is still good. I have this weird system, okay? It's not scientific, but I just feel like this one, the Salsa Blue, I'm not sure I'm going to rebuy it, though, after it's gone, because I'm finding that I just love this one more. And this one does have some salicylic acid in it, but it's not, like, as strong as this one. I do find that this one is really good, like, if you're going to do something like henna, because I feel like it just takes all the build off your hair before you do a henna application. But this one I think is pretty good too. And I think after this one's gone, I've had this one like for this shampoo. I've had it for like 1 year and 4 months, I think. This one I've had since March. And I've only used like down to here. But I've gone through 3 bottles of conditioner since then, and I don't even wash my hair that much. But I'm not like precious about how much shampoo I use or how much conditioner. I just use what feels like comfortable. Like I know there's a lot of people that are like, you have to use this amount of conditioner. Now I made a boo-boo and I bought some Dollar Tree conditioners, which I guess I feel sort of like I want to use them up. But I'm not happy with them. I'm just not. So I think I'm going to go back next time I have a little more money and buy Garnier conditioner, which conditioner's cheap, but I just wash my hair on Friday morning. And I've also been thinking too, do I want to wash my hair more often? Because I was for a while like, oh, 3-week wash cycle, but I don't know. It's doable, but this last time I just felt like I'm not as happy with it anymore. Like, because I do put a lot of oils in my hair and things, and I just felt like it was doable, but I almost feel like I'm spending more time like rinsing my hair out with water than if I just washed it. And I honestly love the soft feeling of after your hair is washed. Like the first few days, like to a week, I kind of like that a lot. So I'm not saying I can't extend out my hair washing. I always have different feelings. Like first off, my foot hurt a couple weeks ago, so I just didn't feel like doing a lot of hair washing, to be honest. But now that my foot's feeling better, I'm like, like, I feel like I am in the mood to do more hair washing. I'm not saying every week even, but I'm just feeling like 3 weeks might be a stretch sometimes. My favorite shampoo right now is just like, that's what I've been using. And I like Garnier a lot. And I just kind of came across them, like that Garnier serum. I came across this just by accident in 2022 when I went to this one CVS that's no longer around anymore. But I saw it and I'm like, oh, I really like this Garnier, but this is cheaper at Walmart. You want to get, I say like if you ever want to like save the most money, just Walmart. Like everything's gone up in prices everywhere. Hopefully they come down eventually, but I don't know. Are they going to? Some of that's corporate greed, by the way. I know some people are like, oh, it's all good. Some of it's corporate greed. You think corporations are